Welcome back. The success of the African Continental Free Trade Area is dependent on the efficient movement of goods. And with more than 80% of the continent's trade passing through ports, investment in port infrastructure is a priority. Private and public investment in Africa's ports between 2005 and 2019 totaled more than $50 billion, and construction on a major deep-sea port in Lekki, Nigeria is underway. Now, over the past decade, Tangier Med in Morocco has grown to become the biggest in the Mediterranean and in Africa by capacity, handling 6 million containers in 2020.
Tangier Med wants to be a hub for Africa. 40% of all the containers you see behind, 40% of them, either they go to Africa or they come from Africa.
Located on the western edge of the Mediterranean, more than 100,000 ships pass through the port every year, carrying 80 million tons of goods in 2020.
The Tangier Med port is an interesting story on the African continent. I think on the one hand, you need to look at the level of investment the government of Morocco itself has made in developing the port, whether it's through its capacity to handle shipping traffic and merchandise trade. And one of the attractive features of it is its automation and its ability to deal also with an increasingly digitalized world. Many of the ports across the continent perhaps don't have that level of capacity.
COVID have touched many ports around the world, but not all ports have been touched the same way. Some ports have lost 1, 2, 3%. Some other ports have lost 10%. It happened that in our port, we gained 23%. Now you would tell me why we gained 23%. It happens that we are strategically well positioned, and some ships have decided to consolidate their activities here rather than stop in 3-4 ports.
There's room for growth since the port's expansion in 2019, which can now handle up to 9 million containers. But expansion comes with its own growing pains, according to Huari.
You have more demand, more trucks, you have customs checkup, you have some controls that have to be done with more cargo, but you have to try to keep all of this fluid without making clients wait. So you have to make infrastructure even bigger to make it even fluider and faster. This is also a challenge.
Since the port's inception in 2007, many multinationals have been encouraged to set up manufacturing plants in Tangier's industrial-free zone, which has boosted exports, particularly in the automotive sector.
We have managed to attract over 1,000 companies who are recruiting and manufacturing goods going to Africa and the rest of the world, and they have employed over 90,000 people only in the Tangier Med zones.
The fact that it's within this industrial free zone that makes it a very attractive destination for private businesses, whether it's in manufacturing, whether it's industrial trade, and so on. And so it does make it as a package a very attractive piece of investment for both government and for private sector.
International sports retailer Decathlon uses Tangier Med as their continental base for shipments around Africa and beyond.
I am Oussama Al-Khazazni, head of the transport department at Decathlon Morocco. This warehouse is 40,000 square meters, where we do deliver around 40 million pieces. And some example of the countries that we deliver from here are Algeria, Tunisia, South Africa, Kenya, and many others.
With the help of the African Continental Free Trade Area, Decathlon is hoping to expand their 46 stores in the region.
This agreement will not only help Decathlon to expand its retail activity, but also to help us increase the local production in Africa. As today we are having our products produced in 6 countries for the moment, but with this agreement we will increase this number a lot.
Manufacturing is one of several areas of investment that Braganza believes needs to be in place to boost port development across Africa.
Many of the finished goods that come through the ports as imports into the continent, many of the raw materials actually are from the continent. So if we could get opportunities for the economies to actually make some of those goods on the continent and we then export them through these ports, then making the case for port development then becomes very much more plausible and much more convincing. And I think finally it's the interlinkages. For 20 years, one of the big things that has been discussed is increasing transport links across the continent, whether it is air, rail, road, in order to facilitate intra-Africa trade. You can't see a port development and maritime transport development in isolation. I think they work together with rail, road and air transport and in broader infrastructure development to make sure that the continent can move up the chain that way.